I have no reason to doubt that Deandre Ayton doesn't have a rib contusion. But I have every reason to doubt that it is such a severe contusion that he can't play in an elimination game. So, when you take away and run with this thing, okay, I'm not saying he's not hurt. I'm questioning whether or not he's injured. It's a rib contusion. That means it's not broken ribs. And again, even broken ribs, it's not like he's playing football where he's going to get... Now, you're going to get bumped and banged because you're playing against Jokic. Your team's backs are against the wall. And look, part of why I'm saying this is because there's all the video evidence out there of him being just kind of checked out at times from this team. In addition to the fact that he got benched last year and there were thoughts of not re-signing him, and then they re-signed him and everybody thought, okay, well, in January they'll trade him, and they didn't trade him. Instead, they brought in Kevin Durant and got rid of other pieces. And I do have a little bit of sympathy for Deandre Ayton. Maybe he's really, really hurting today. And you know what? I don't actually care. I don't care. Because the way that I'm wired is, unless you're going to do harm to yourself. Okay, rib contusion is, by all intents and purposes, a deep rib bruise. That's got to hurt. You can absolutely take a shot for that. And the difference in taking a shot for that and taking a shot for an ankle or for a knee is, it's not like you're going to do some sort of dramatic damage to your ribs because your ribs are numb having taken a shot. That is, I don't want to play, and they don't want me playing. What a curious end to his season. Crazy. Yes, John Ramos.
We always hear, Doug, it's something that I've heard for many, many, many years. It's always like, well, if it was a playoffs, he'd be in there, right? Don't you always hear that in sports? It's like, well, if this was a playoff game, he'd definitely be playing. But since it's like midseason, sit out. And your point is correct. It's like, this is the playoff game. This is where you should be playing.
Am I wrong? I mean, I guess the other question is, in truth, who made this call? How much of it is Ayton and how much of it is the team? And I think you'll know based upon where he's sitting tonight or if he's at the game tonight. If they don't want him around the team, if this is the team saying, hey, your ribs are hurt, why don't you stay home tonight? That's when it's the team. Buyer, what's your level of belief in Deandre Ayton being injured? Not being hurt. I think we all think, hey, dude, I buy it, you're hurt. But being injured.
I think it's a team decision. Shockingly, considering how thin they are, I think it is a team decision.
I'm trying to think if there's precedence for this. There's no precedence for the litany of the litany of storylines coming out of this, or all the different stuff. Right? Last year, benched. As if we remember, last year was when they were just humiliated at home in Game 7. It was the Dallas Mavericks, right? And they had 27 in the first half or 29 in the first half. Yeah. It was so bad. He gets benched, and then it was like, all right. Then he didn't talk to Monty Williams, didn't talk to anybody, but he was a restricted free agent. So ultimately, they matched and brought him back, and that was weird. Then when they make the move for Durant, they don't or can't move Ayton, so they're kind of stuck with him. And then you could see his body language start to devolve and get worse and worse as the playoffs went on. It's just this is the NFL Jay Cutler. That's what it feels like.
You know, it's very interesting. These two stories of Anthony Davis and Deandre Ayton. The wheelchair thing about Davis that stands out to me is that, and I know you guys talked about this earlier, but we didn't see the wheelchair. I don't think that the Lakers were trying to sell something.
Right.
Where Chris Haynes just happened to see him be in a wheelchair and reported on it. It wasn't that we caught him on camera, that they took him from the court to the back in a wheelchair. It was mentioned, whatever. Doctor said, hey, let's just do this. Whatever the scenario was, we never saw it. And that's kind of how I feel about this is I don't remember it, and maybe I just missed it and didn't see it in Game 5, where this was, a huge storyline. The only things that I'm seeing and still seeing are, look at Deandre Ayton not go after this ball, or why is he guarding someone out of bounds, and it's really been the story for the entire season, dating back to the last offseason when he and Monty Williams didn't talk. So it's just odd.
Could I add also that an amusing part of this particular postseason is, and I don't know if they're doing it as a goof or if there's something there, but multiple times Chris Paul is trying to give him a high five coming off of the floor. Have you seen this video of this? And he completely ignores it. He doesn't give him a high five. I don't know if this is a joke by the team or if that's a legitimate thing, but it's happened multiple times in this postseason.
I think it's a real thing. I think it's a real thing.
The Arizona Republic reported after Game 5 that Ayton was complaining about a rib injury when he was leaving the arena.
No question. If you watch there's video of him getting elbowed right in the rib.
Okay, all right.
So again, I promise you, I am not denying that he has a rib injury in any way. But is it a rib injury that you can't play with in an elimination game? Therein lies the difference. There's just such a massive difference to me in the difference in the two, considering it's an elimination game. And maybe it's not the Clippers. Maybe it's Chris Paul that's cursed. He gets hurt, and now DeAndre Ayton's on his squad. I don't know.
I feel really bad now because I didn't see the highlight, and now in looking at it, and I'm throwing him under the bus for saying it.
No, I think none of what you said was wrong. Like he got elbowed in the ribs, but like you're not going to play because this reminds me. I have a kid who plays for an AAU who last summer missed a tournament because of a sunburn, and he showed up the first day and played, and we had like two games on it was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and like the second game on a Friday was later Friday night. And he's like, Coach, I can't go. And I was like, why not? He's like, I got a really bad sunburn and the sweat stings my back. And I was like, okay, what does that have to do with the basketball game? I don't really understand that. Well, no, it really stings my back. He actually is a good kid. He showed up for the rest of the games as a teammate and sat there on the bench and cheered. But he didn't play because of his sunburn. That's a new one to me. I'll say to the video, he got popped in the ribs. Like, again, I am not denying that he got hit in the ribs. What I am saying is, well, you're going to miss. It's like, is this game 6? This is it. There's no more games. Even though being listed as questionable, hey, I'm going to give it a go, take a shot, see how it feels, run up and down. Because as you said, Bayer, they have no depth. No depth. It's a stunner to me. Complete stunner. And feels a little bit like the team, but feels a little bit like an FU to the organization.